The ancient ones had spoken, their voices like echoes from the void, carrying wisdom that spanned eons. Yet the young ones refused to heed their command. They believed themselves beyond the reach of caution, beyond the grasp of consequence. They saw themselves as pioneers, not prisoners. They wanted to see the humans, to understand them, to move among them as if they were equals. But they were not equals, and the ancient ones knew this. And so they warned, and they warned, and they warned again. Yet the young ones did not listen. They ventured forth, stepping into the world of men, their forms shifting to blend into the crowds, their eyes wide with wonder, their minds alight with curiosity. They walked among the humans, seeing their lives, their struggles, their dreams, their fears. And at first, it was intoxicating. The humans were fascinating, so small and fragile, yet bursting with ambition and desperation. They built their cities. They fought their wars. They loved and they lost. They created and they destroyed in an endless cycle of chaos and beauty. And the young ones were drawn to it all. They whispered to one another of the marvels. They saw the music, the art, the raw energy of human existence. They laughed at the warnings of the ancient ones, believing them to be relics of an age that no longer mattered. They immersed themselves in the lives of men. Some became scholars, some became lovers, some became warriors, but all of them thought themselves invincible. And then the first of them fell, a young one named Ishal, who had dared to linger too long in a single place, had dared to forge too deep a connection with the human heart. The humans sensed the difference, the subtle wrongness in the way he moved, the way he spoke, the way his eyes held secrets too vast, too deep, for a mortal soul to comprehend. And so they turned on him, not all at once, not with the fury of a mob, but with the slow creeping dread of a thing not understood. They whispered behind his back. They watched him when they thought he could not see. And then they acted, and he was gone. The others knew the moment it happened. They felt the severing of his presence, the silence where once there had been thought and voice and laughter. They searched for him, but there was nothing left, no trace, no sign. Only the empty air where he had once stood. And still, they did not heed the warning. Still, they did not retreat. Instead, they sought answers. They delved deeper into the world of men, believing they could uncover the truth, believing they could control the situation, believing they were still safe. And then another fell, and another, and another, each disappearance sending ripples through the remaining few. Yet still, they did not flee. And the ancient ones grew silent, watching from the shadows of eternity, watching as the last of the young ones walked blindly into the jaws of their own doom. The humans were not what they had seemed. They had known all along. They had sensed the presence of the outsiders among them. And they had prepared. Oh, how they had prepared. They had spoken in hushed tones. They had gathered in secret. They had whispered of the old stories, the myths that were not myths, the warnings that were not mere superstitions. And they had acted with precision, with patience, with cold, deliberate intent. For all their fragility, for all their fleeting lives, the humans understood one truth above all else: that which is different must be feared. That which is unknown must be destroyed. The last of the young ones stood in the ruins of what had once been their sanctuary, a place hidden from the eyes of men. And now, tainted by their hands, he was alone. The others gone, vanished, taken by the relentless hunger of human curiosity and human terror. He felt the weight of their loss, the suffocating silence where once there had been a chorus of voices, and he understood at last what the ancient ones had tried to tell them, why they had been warned, why they had been told to stay away. It was never about protecting the humans. It was never about preserving the order of the world. It was about survival. The survival of those who had existed before time had a name: the survival of those who had watched the birth of the stars and the fall of empires, the survival of those who had once believed themselves untouchable. And so the last of them stood, knowing he had nowhere left to run, knowing that even if he fled, he would be hunted, knowing that the humans would never stop until every last trace of his kind had been wiped from the face of existence. And he understood the price that had been paid for their arrogance, for their defiance, for their refusal to listen. And as the torches flickered in the distance, as the sound of footsteps drew near, he closed his eyes and waited.